She won working class voters. Working class white voters and working class black voters, respectfully. You know where she didn't do so well? Upper middle class white people, well-to-do white people. That's where she didn't do so well. Ironically, that's also where she had a problem with here, on Twitter and YouTube and in the independent media world. When I say upper middle class, I'm talking about the commentators. I'm talking about those people who campaigns against her. But once again, we're going to come back to that. I'm coming for that ass tonight. Dress light. Wear your fighting shoes. Have your Vaseline ready, girl. You're going to need to grease up because we about to get into that ass tonight. Jimmy Dore. Kick rocks. And that goes for Brianna Joy Gray too. And that goes for Brianna Joy Gray too.
Listening to Reset Race, you're now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race, you're now tuned in to Reset Race. Put them back on the grill again, we grilling them. Put them back on the grill again, we grilling them. Put them back on the grill again, we grilling them. Back on the grill again, we grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake. Lineage go back to U.S. Southern plantations. Lineage, Jim Crow and mass incarceration. Redlining lynchings, we are old from this nation. You're not about justice if you ain't for reparations. MG the wise one, cousin mother intellectual. Samantha bringing fire, anti-black, we pressing you. No permanent friends and no permanent enemies. The backbone of the country, the win, you need our energy. You gon' see? Listening to Reset Race. You now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race. You're now tuned in to Reset Race. Put them back on the grill again, we grilling them. Put them back on the grill again, we grilling them. Put them back on the grill again, we grilling them. Back on the grill again, we grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake.
Until you do right by me, everything you think about is gonna crumble.
Welcome to Reset Race, where we discuss race and we discuss politics and how those two things intersect and impact the descendants of chattel slavery, U.S. freedmen, ADOS, what is it, FBA, whatever you want to call us.
NASDA, is it NASD or NASDA?
NASD.
Yeah,
Anyway.
NASD, yeah, there's...
Yeah. Those of us who descend from slaves here in the United States, all right, specifically.
Did you say the freedmen?
I said freedmen. I did say freedmen.
Don't forget FBA.
FBA.
B1,
Native Black Americans.
Yeah, if
F1,
you come from
B1.
slaves,
us.
I don't care what set you from. If you believe that we deserve reparations and that we need to fight, we don't set trip over here. So whoever you with, like as long as you on the mission, we with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you say some real crazy stuff, just don't hashtag reset race.
Yes, we
We watch all kinds of craziness, and I enjoy it. I don't like it because they be watching these likes and stuff and these retweets. But I'll see it and I'll agree with you in private. But don't hashtag us when you're doing some funny stuff. Gonna get us in trouble.
I get enough fuck shit on my own. But I am a Twitter weirdo. All right, so. Here, like I said, I'm Michael Graham of Actify Press. Again, I forget if I say that. So we're going to start off with our guest / new team member.
Hello, everyone. I am Josiah X Killmonger, your average, everyday Black American superhero.
I love it.
Here to fix everything. So listen to me, and I'll get you where you need to be.
All right. I like the confidence. Punch it in.
Are you going to give them any social media or any of that? Or are you good? Because I'm getting off social media pretty soon.
Don't follow me around on social media. I'm always honest.
Brutally honest.
So Killmonger, are you saying if they come looking for work, you gonna give it to them?
That's all I got.
You got applications everywhere.
Nah, you gotta work for it.
You keep the applications just in case somebody wants this work.
All right. So that's Josiah, troublemaker, whatever you want to call him. All right. So he's gonna be visiting us from time to time. He's gonna be doing some work with us. All right. So Sam, we back on track now. Sam, talk to him. Sorry, Sam. Sam's drinking.
You bunch of leftists. Y'all
they blew it.
No, sorry.
Go ahead.
Some of y'all have showed your monkey butt cheeks. Did you keep talking about my cousin? Y'all showed your whole monkey butt cheeks. He was out here throwing poo and it was just flying back. Like, let me tell you, y'all wild out. Y'all wild out. Y'all made up whole new stories. I felt like well, not you, MG. For us younger folks, y'all remember when you was a kid and you played telephone? Wait, what happened? There's a whole different story. How did we get to Colonel Mustard with the wrench? When we started just talking about how we was gonna go to Eat at 6. Like, y'all wild out. Y'all showed y'all racist asses. And why did this woman get mad at us for talking about red rose? Wait, what happened? There's a whole different story. How did we get to Colonel Mustard with the wrench? When we started just talking about how we was gonna go to Eat at 6. Like, y'all wild out. Y'all showed y'all racist asses. And why did this woman get mad at us for talking about red rose racist and proceeded for 2 days to prove what a red rose racist was?
Is she still going?
She didn't use any N-bombs though. But when you read it, it's like the Democratic Party would be doomed if they ever tried to do things for Black people. You weren't genocided like the Native Americans. Millions of white people died to free you. Like, yes. Like the shit the Republicans say, we gonna do a whole different video on that thread because she's still going. It's such a good thread too. It's like a class in like, I don't know, white fragility / white liberal racists.
Let's unpack this a little bit more with the good bad binary, because there's this assumption you write about it in the book. There's this assumption that racists are people who want to lynch people or make them sit in the back of the bus, or keep them from buying a home, or keep them from getting a particular job or promotion. Why is this that makes you a bad person? But if you're a good person, then you don't do those things, and therefore, if you're a good person, you can't be racist. Can you just unpack that a little bit more?
Sure. Racism is a highly adaptive system, and it has adapted to challenges. And I think the most brilliant adaptation the system of racism made to the challenges of the civil rights movement was to reduce the definition of a racist to a very simple formula. Always an individual, not a system, who consciously doesn't like people based on race, must be conscious, and intentionally seeks to be mean to them, must be intentional. So an individual consciously mean. That definition functions beautifully to exempt virtually all white people from the system we're actually in. And I think it's the root of virtually all white defensiveness on the topic of racism. And so it's functioned to protect racism. It has not helped our outcomes. By every measure, there's deep racial disparity in this country. It's growing by many measures, and yet that definition allows virtually all white people to exempt themselves. And since you're giving me the opportunity, I think white progressives are the hardest. I think so you all are not the choir, sorry. I don't see any group of white people as the choir, because that suggests that our learning is finished. And the moment we become complacent, we're gonna be problematic in our interactions. So the reason I say that white progressives can be the most challenging is because we're most likely to be in your lives. And the degree that we think we're good to go for all the reasons we're going to tell you. I mean, I've been to Costa Rica, you know.
I have black friends.
My second cousin married a black guy. You know, I was in the Peace Corps. You know, I could go on and on.
I marched in the '60s, or I marched.
Black baby.
I marched in a Black Lives Matter protest.
And here's what I have to say about March in the '60s, right? Anybody ever heard that one? I marched in the '60s, right? If you're white and you marched in the '60s, thank you. It made a difference. It was important. And damn, I wished I marched in the '60s. I'd be certified as free of racism for the next 70 years. And I'm sure there was no white patronizing going on when all those folks went down. So the evidence we give for our lack of racism is pretty thin and not convincing generally to people of color. And so white progressives can cling to this self-image that's so important to us that we are not open in any way to having that challenge. So we're going to defend, deflect, deny, explain that you must have misunderstood me if you thought that was racist, because I'm not racist. So you've misunderstood me. So white progressives can be a pain.
I'm gonna echo that.
Yeah.
And I actually heard a lot of sighs, and I looked around and I saw a lot of people of color go, "Oh yes." Because it is overwhelming. I think there's this desire to believe that that conservatives and people who are overt white supremacists are the problem. And when you talk about the Black Lives Matter, you know, I live in a neighborhood where there are Black Lives Matter posters on every single door, so in every window, and we have the bumper stickers, and these are the same people that do not speak to the black people, the few black people left, right, in the neighborhood because the neighborhood's gentrified. These are the same people who are, you know, excited to send their children to the public school because they want to save the public school for their children in 5 years when their children are actually school aged, but dominate the parents of color that have been in those buildings for years and consider their voices invalid. And so it really just, it hits in a way that I think feels like there's such a lack of trust and an unwillingness. And they're also the hardest to convince because there's this belief that, like, you should be grateful. You should be grateful that we're here. You should be grateful that we're doing this work. You should be grateful that we're working in this organization and committed.
And Brianna is on that bullshit.
Facts.
Okay, I'm done.
Thanks, Sam, for that.
17 trillion.
Thanks, Sam, for that brief intro.
I know, right? Y'all be having us fired up and shit.
That's the whole show. All right, John, talk to him, man. Thanks, Sam.
Hey, what's up, everybody, man? This is John C. Just an average, regular, schmegular, average American Negro. And you know what? I want to make a public service announcement. I just want to make everything clear, man. Listen, we here at Reset Race, we are in our own lane. We don't claim to be the starters of the reparations conversation. We don't claim that we are the experts in the reparations conversation. Reparations conversation came from Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore, the way that they framed it, the way that they put it out there. And Yvette Carnell, this lady, made me want to go fight. Now, I'll say this to say this, like, I'm not a part of the ADOS Advocacy Foundation. I don't speak for them. Nobody on Reset Race speaks for them. We don't claim to be a part of that organization, but we give people their proper respect when it's due. And that's real. I'll be lying if I said anything differently. You know, I keep my thoughts to myself on this because I know how sticky the situation is and people got other feelings. I don't be wanting to hear that shit. Like, I'm about justice for my people, for real. And I'm not playing into that. You know what I mean? Like, we do something different. We just brought this conversation to a different space, and we have different conversations about it. That's it. Like, nobody can tell me how I should advocate or how I'm supposed to advocate, but I give Yvette and Tonya Moore they due respect. I give Dr. Darity and Kristen Mullen they due respect. I give Thomas Kramer his due respect. Because I know that some of the anti-black lefties don't like to talk to black people, so talk to Thomas Kramer. They're gonna be like, no, I gotta talk to them. Because they're like, oh, we need a quadrillion. So what we do here at Reset Race is something that, you know, we're not trying to take away from what anybody contributed. I know other reparations organizations, if you want to get down with the movement by any ways that you can get down with it, get down with it. We are just we are a bunch of Negroes here. We having therapy in front of you. That's what this is. This show is Negroes having therapy in the open. That's it. Regular Negroes that care about their people having therapy. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, we give everybody their respect. And guess what, though? I said ADOS need reparations to make America great. I meant that shit. And I'm not. If you want to talk to the ADOS Advocacy Foundation, the ADOS organization, I'm glad they made those organizations. Please go talk to them. Please do. I think they black agenda kick like Kung Fu. I'm just not a part of that organization. I don't know who wrote that shit over there, but that shit kicked like Bruce Lee over there. I don't know what their shit kicked. I come out of that, but we're doing something different off my chest. But, you know, as always, I'm happy to be here, and let's get into this show and let's get through this bullshit. I'm sorry about that, MG. I'm sorry about that, bro.
It's all gravy. All gravy. Get off your chest. Shit, that's what we do. Mud, since we having therapy, come on, Mud.
Shit, I'm not going through therapy today. You know, they call me Mud. You can find me on my social media @of Lineage. Right. Twitter, Instagram, Clubhouse. Bitter Dose TV coming soon. Just keep looking out for all the shit we're doing. Yeah, let's get to the show.
Thanks, Mud. All right, this show is going to be a little bit different. Okay, as you heard in our intro, there's some concerns on the internet about Tim Black. Tim Black's, well, we're going to play some video here and show you some tweets about the direction this whole conversation went and the direction it should not have, especially based on what Tim was actually saying and the points he was trying to make. He was angry, and he's a black man in America. He's supposed to be angry. We're all supposed to be angry, and a lot of times we are. We're human beings. We're human beings.
The rage of the disesteemed is personally fruitless, but it is also absolutely inevitable. This rage, so generally discounted and so little understood, even among the people whose daily bread it is one of the things that makes history. This is a fact which most white people, having never felt this rage and being unable to imagine it, quite fail to understand. Rage cannot be hidden. It can only be dissembled. And this dissembling deludes the thoughtless and strengthens rage and adds to rage contempt. There are no doubt as many ways of coping with the resulting complex of tensions as there are black men in the world, but no black man anywhere can hope ever to be entirely liberated from this internal warfare.
All right, like I said, this whole thing about Tim Black, like I said, we agree with the sentiments that Tim was expressing. We're 100% behind, and you know we don't mind cussing around here. We cuss, we cuss a lot, you know.
That's too much. I'm trying to cut it down, man.
Yeah, and we don't spare anybody either. And Tim, honestly, Tim was cleaning house, right? That's why you guys got. That's why the rest of you got the message you got. That's why you got the sliver of information you got. Right, that 9-second or 6-second clip from a 3-hour show, including call-ins. And you got a 6-second clip and people ran with it. Oh, that was vile. Oh, that was vile. We ready to ride, Sam?
That's what they do though, right? They lie on you and they smear you. Let's rock.
Okay, so this is the soundbite that everybody heard that got spread around, and it was called a grape threat. That's what
a grape threat.
Yeah, a grape threat without the G. Okay, this is the soundbite that got tossed around. All right, Sam.
And they should be able to see the timestamps. So y'all see that.
For middle class, I'm talking about the commentators. I'm talking about those people who campaigns against her. But once again, we're going to come back to that. I'm coming for that ass tonight. Dress light. Wear your fighting shoes. Have your Vaseline ready, girl. You're going to need to grease up because we about to get into that ass tonight.
Stop. Yeah, all right. So
that's the 18-minute mark. So so please translate Ave for the white people.
Yeah, I said in the tweet that I was going to explain. We were going to talk about how black people talk to each other when y'all on. I'm going to tell you who to go see. All right, go on the YouTubes. Right, there's a YouTuber named Jermaine Phillips. Okay, then go to look up Roast Me. Then go look up Long Beach Griffey. Then go look up Big Ja. Okay? And you see how black people talk to each other when you're not around. And a lot of you probably never heard of any of these people. Long Beach Griffey is like 3 million, has like 3 million subscribers now.
Wow.
Right? So there's the whole section of YouTube that a lot of you have never seen before. Right, Jermaine Phillips, he's got like 700,000 followers. Big Ja has 1 million followers. He's a little more mild, right? but these and their videos have hundreds of thousands of views. Why? Because it's familiar to us. This is how we talk to one another. Especially if you're an old school black comedy head from like the 90s and the early 2000s, the time of Bernie Mac and from Eddie Murphy to Bernie Mac to what's that boy's name? Martin Lawrence, right? That's how we talk to each other. And you also have to remember Tim is a comedian, right? So just to translate, when he says Vaseline,
only white comedians are allowed to crack jokes.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. When he says Vaseline, this is not a personal lubricant issue. For those of you who know Vaseline, you know it's not a personal lubricant. If you understand what I'm saying.
Vaseline
Sorry.
I don't know. Yeah,
let's
not get into that.
Yeah, let's not get into that.
We talk like that. That shit was like.
Yeah. So the Vaseline comment, right? Vaseline is used to go on your face. See, Sam got the clip. Boxers put it on their face, and there's a trope that black women put it on their face when they get ready to fight to keep it from scarring. To keep you from getting cut, from getting punched. That's what he meant for the Vaseline. And when he says get up in that ass, that means a fight, a physical altercation. But obviously, this is a video, so this is metaphorical. Like
this is why we always say metaphorically when we be saying that shit. Because y'all motherfuckers take shit too goddamn serious.
Too serious.
That's why I always say I wish they metaphorically. Which we may have to change the word for metaphorically. What's a dumber word so they'll get it? I'm not talking about the people that are watching our show. I'm talking about for the people who were trying to turn this
to spin.
Who are trying to spin that into a great comment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, in any event, that's anybody got anything else on how we talk to one another or what was actually meant by that? And anybody else have any input on that? So Sam, you got any input on that? Start with you.
Well, just the whole thing. Like, y'all wait till y'all watch our show. Welcome to the Reset Race Show. I know a lot of you are new, but if you listen to the show all the time, I say I hope people get their Achilles heel, metaphorically speaking, cut. I'll say that in the we got song. Well, y'all ain't heard the song yet. Shit, it's in the song. Talking about we gonna choke you out metaphorically. I said in the Fred Hampton Leftist that I was gonna beat the fucking shit out of them. I know it's early, y'all gonna be upset. And I said, and I don't mean with my fist, I mean with my words, my intellect, and my arguments. If I say I'm going to beat your ass, that's what the fuck I mean. I'm a grown ass woman. Ain't nobody going out here trying to fight nobody. Tim, a grown ass man with kids and grandkids. He ain't going out here trying to fight no 100-pound woman. Y'all is crazy.
That's 100 pounds of bricks in her pocket. All right. Thanks, Sam. What you got? Oh, Josiah, I forgot we got a guest. Go ahead, Josiah, talk to us.
Who called him a guest? Josiah's not a guest.
All right. You know, we got new people. All right. Damn it. Go ahead.
I feel like y'all are giving these people way too much credit. They know what's going on. Like they heard No Vaseline by Ice Cube and they knew that wasn't about sex, was it?
Nope.
When he said you can get fucked with no Vaseline, do you think he was really trying to get Dr. Dre? Do you think he was really trying to make Eazy-E? People making like a sexual reference to like Vaseline is like Lil' Kim on how many licks she's like, get your Vaseline. Other than that, I can't think of a single time where Black people are like, yo, get your Vaseline because some sex is happening. Yeah, like that's not a cultural thing for us. White people.
Baby oil, but not Vaseline.
Yeah, Vaseline. Just for the folks listening who have things going through their mind, Vaseline is horribly unhygienic. It traps bacteria and it's bad for you. Just want to let you know. All right, so moving on, John.
PSA.
Yes, PSA. Absolutely.
Nah, man. No. I mean, when the thing about it, when Tim started this live stream off, man, he was saying like, I'm about to get in y'all ass, like. Before you even mention Bree, before you even say so, I'm about to get in y'all ass, get the Vaseline ready. Not gonna lie, sound all types of wrong, but the Black, I'm like, to me, my thing is like, he about to turn up, he about to get lit.
Yeah,
he about to go in. He about to be on their ass. He's about to really fucking give him some smoke.
And he did.
So like that whole connotation of him saying that to Bree as some type of that had no misogynistic feeling. Trust me, Black people know motherfuckers being misogynist. You're like, man, fuck that. Did it? No. I think the main thing that got the most, that left these mad the most though, is that he called out Breonna's Blackness based off her politics. You see that? Because when he said, you know what, the thing about it, because when you start cutting through the layers and they stop saying misogyny, they know he was talking metaphorically. He said, I'm not getting their ass. He's talking about Jimmy Dore. He came at Nick Breonna ass. However, he was on the everybody. People, he was on their ass. Like see that? Wait
till they really listen to our show.
That wasn't what it was. I'm sorry, sis. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just thinking, like, you know how many times we done said that we host. Y'all don't understand. Tim didn't say shit. Wait till y'all get through our old episodes. Y'all gonna have
don't bring to the old episodes,
and let me tell you this up front. Like I said before, y'all motherfuckers can't cancel me because y'all motherfuckers don't pay me. So I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm not gonna give a fuck about nothing you say. I'm not apologizing for shit. If I don't believe I did it, fuck you. I'll go to my grave on it. Fuck you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut over you, John.
Go ahead. John, you done?
But I'm just laughing at this whole thing because it's just so outrageous and ludicrous. Like, if it wasn't so serious, it would be like a bad joke.
Yep. Go ahead. You done, John? I'm sorry.
Yeah, before Cousin Mug go, you know what I mean? I just wanted to just say this, like, as a big Black man, I know the kind of fucking nails you gotta walk. I already know, like, people, they see my picture and everything, like that. You can find me on. But at the end of the day, like, I know walking through life that you, like, I won't even get on the elevator with a white woman if it's just me and a white woman on the elevator. Or if it's a white woman crossing the street, or for me, any type of woman, I'll cross the street because I don't even want to deal with that weird ass dynamic of me feeling uncomfortable. No, and I don't want to. I'm not with all that. I'm not with that. I'm across the street, so I don't even want to deal with that kind of racial aspect. That's that undertone, like, you know what I mean. So I think to see that get pulled out, he was really disagreeing. He was calling the whole left out based off what he felt that with Nina Turner, they should have stepped up for Nina. That's a different story. That's an issue that I wish Nina Turner would have won. I'll say it out loud. I wish Nina Turner. I know Nina Turner was better than Chantel Brown, but at the end of the day, that's something that the progressive movement was going through. He had to call them out, and he called out the anti-Blackness though. He called out the fact that they don't bring up. He's like, you don't talk about Black issues. Fuck you talking about. Bree Joy, this is what hurt. Because the thing about it wasn't a lot of Black people on the left disagreeing with him. That's the crazy part. It was white people on the left. When he said, Bree Joy, you a white. He's like, when I see you, I see a white woman that don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
That hurt white people's soul.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why? Because if he said Kamala Harris, when I see you, I see a white woman that's not going on. Them same white dudes would have been with him. He would have said, well, Kamala Harris, I'm about to get in your ass, Kamala Harris. Yeah, yeah. But for some reason, he calling out Bree Joy though, because he really broke down what they doing. So my bad. That's all I got to say about it.
But you know why? You know why it hurts their soul, right? It hurts their soul because Bree's supposed to be the one that they get their Negro information from. But Bree does not have poor Black people politics, and being that the majority of Black people are poor, you're listening to the wrong Negro. And the days of us being led by faces and people who are not about our politics are fucking dead. Like, we are going to get rid of people one by one. Like, you white people keep coming at us talking about, well, the CBC, we've been smacking the CBC around for years. Y'all need to go start looking at the CBC tweets. Go look at that tweet Jamal Bowman did today about that fucking hip hop day. Look and see how Black people are in their ass. We are riding the fuck out of these people. Y'all need to handle your house and we'll handle ours.
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I completely agree with Josiah. I think that even trying to explain it to them, like, they already know what's going on. This is clearly just a smear campaign because they really don't have a good angle on Tim Black. And I mean, Tim Black is a Black man in America. You don't get to his age by incriminating yourself on camera like that. So clearly, like, this is not, he didn't get on camera and start talking about how I'm on now. Like, we need to cut it out. Everybody needs to start acting like adults.
Yeah, good luck with that one, brother. All right, you good, Mud? That's it?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Just for the record, I don't know about our new cast member / guest, new guy, Josiah, but both John, Mud, and I are over 6 feet tall, 6 feet tall or over, and over 200 pounds. Just for the record, we understand how we have to conduct ourselves and how we have to adjust around people just to live, just to stay alive. Right, and Tim, I'm like a second or two older than Tim, but he and I both understand how you get to be this age. Okay, as Mud was saying. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the next timestamp. Okay, 2709.
Wife, Jimmy Dore, and his dizzy wife said, "I'm not giving Nina any of my hard-earned money." We naming names tonight.
Sam.
We name.
All right, so we know at 1745, we just showed it. You guys can get this video. He said what he said about Vaseline. That's the Vaseline comment. Then he goes to Jimmy Dore and Steph Cimarano. Okay, we haven't even heard Bree's name yet. You guys can watch the video. This is the full video. This is not the 1 hour cut. This is the full 3 hour video. Okay, so Sam, let's go to 2954, please.
And that goes for Brianna Joy Gray, too, who went down to Ohio just to gloat through her new individuals, and she pretends to understand the poor Blacks while she does simulcasting for the Hill and looks down her nose at poor people. You don't have to retweet me. I don't want your retweet, sister. I want you out the way, and take your funny clown comedian with you. Go on the Joe Rogan show. You can't get a job doing nothing else except shitting on the true left, shitting on us, and then pretending to be our friends. I don't need your retweets. I don't need your fake hellos. I saw you in Ohio. My mom still lives here, so I'm just here because I was just in the neighborhood, being cool with the bros and the sisters and the hoes. You know how I do. Shut up and get the fuck back on the next thing smoking, back to DC and hang out with your corny friends and do your Bad Faith podcast in Bad Faith, a perfect name. We are calling all names tonight. No more punk shit.
So, we have a full 12 minutes between the Vaseline comment and the first mention of Bree Joy. And in between that, he talked about Jimmy and Steph. So, to my mind, even though he said the word girl, like you go girl or girl bye, All right, we're not even get into that. Jesus Christ. All right, we're not even gonna try to get into that. Okay, but we had a full 12 minutes between the mention of Vaseline and Bree Joy. These things are not connected in any way, shape, or form. Not only did he mention two other people, he mentioned another woman. They didn't say he said this about Steph.
Yep.
Nor Jimmy.
Yeah, they didn't say nothing about no threesomes.
Nope.
I'm just saying.
Why you not making a threesome for?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Oh.
Jimmy and Steph was second in the rant. They skipped over them and just went straight to Bree. I'm sorry, but some of y'all white male leftists on the left y'all got to work on your minds. Y'all got some slave master minds.
Mm-hmm.
And you can translate it by what I mean by it.
Mm-hmm. All right, now we're gonna go 2 more timestamps, then we'll stop.
Hold on 1 second. Go ahead, Josiah.
Go ahead.
But like, how can they have like the Mandingo fight with Tim and Jimmy Dore? They need like a black person to do that.
Black on black crime.
Exactly. Like you can't turn into a Mandingo fight with Jimmy Dore. You need your Pokemon.
You stole John's stuff, man. Stop that.
Just like Ben Dixon.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I take it back.
It's all right.
Movement for a People's Party should change its name to White People's Party. Movement for a People's Party ain't even a party, it's a get-together. Movement for a People's Party ain't a party, it's a gathering of losers.
All right. Yeah,
I
like that.
I love
I know you like that.
Like,
Sam was the first person I heard say call the white people party.
I want to remix that shit. Yeah, okay. We knew it was a white people's party because they didn't have no black agenda. You got an agenda for everybody else. You got an agenda for people who got here 2 weeks ago, but you ain't got no agenda for black people been here 400 years and built the country. You tripping.
And for the people calling Tim a neoliberal, let's go to 3228. The people that call him neoliberal.
But we can't just do nothing because you're all good. You're all good, so we could just do nothing. No, we can't afford to do nothing. My kids can't afford to do nothing, Johnson. My kids, my grandbabies can't afford, not for me, for daddy, for pop, not to fight for everything that we can get now. And as well as we fight, build, as we do, we have to do both because people have to live meanwhile. Chantel Brown sat back while people died in the Cleveland prison system and said nothing. Can you see Nina Turner doing that? Do you understand people that died in Cleveland right now in Ohio because of Chantel Brown's inaction? She never stood up for anything except a paycheck.
So he even mentioned a Democrat. Strange. And a scandal attached to that Democrat. Okay, let's go to 3411, Sam.
The neolibs.
Exactly.
How can you have a party? How can you start a revolution not even having the guts to put a black agenda on the books, bitch? You can start a party with any demands you want. And you aim, instead of aiming for the stars, you aim for the dirt in front of you, and then you want to get people excited. Fuck you, Nick Bronner. And get my name off your fucking website before I come take it down and tell your daddy I said so. Mama's boy.
Yeah.
Y'all so for Bree. Why did
Oh, no, that's not the worst one. He was going ham. He was going ham.
I watched it, but I didn't slow it down.
When you see it in pieces, it's different. Yeah, when you see it in pieces, right? So we're not going to go much further through this. I'm just giving you a list of people that he went after, just for you. And I'm going to call it, Sam, you don't have to do this, but I'm going to call it the timestamps for people so they can see this. Okay?
Yeah, no, for sure. You should definitely do that. Let's do this last one, and then you should go and read through the timestamps. Give the whole rundown so people can, for the people who actually really want to dig it up and want to prove us wrong. Because I love, these people like, I'm going to show you that you're wrong. Great.
3749, Jimmy Dore.
38. Jimmy Dore, but I am talking about Jimmy Dore. Fuck him and fuck his friends and fuck his subscribers and anybody else who follows that piece of shit. Now, there are others who deserve the wrath of Tim Black, like David Packman, who wouldn't even say Nina Turner's name until the battle was over. What the fuck kind of a neoliberal bullshit is that? How the fuck you're worse than Jimmy Dore, David Packman? Because at least Jimmy Dore would stand behind this bullshit. Your punk ass, how could you not follow and report upon this fucking candidacy and then have something to say like we give a fuck what you think, milquetoast boy? Bullshit.
That's good, Sam. All right, so really quickly, he went after Kyle, Crystal Ball, Kyle again, David Packman, Sam
Kyle,
Cedar.
Hungry niggas, Kyle.
Hungry niggas, Kyle, right?
Niggas is hungry, Kyle.
Niggas is hungry, yeah. David Packman again, Sam Cedar, Stimmy and Steph again, then Brianna for a minute. Then he goes down the list again, just naming off names because he can. Then he goes to Jimmy again. Then he goes to Nick again. Then he goes to Steph again. Then he goes to Chantel Brown again. Then he goes to Bree again. All right. So he's going after all these fucking people. Right? He goes after all these people. Right? Sam, can you go? And I need one more from you, Sam. So if you guys really want to know what this was about, right? Go to 3305, Sam, please.
For Chantel Brown. Because to them, this is the way to get people away from the Democrats. So what if we gotta lose a few people? So what if some people gotta die? So what if some people gotta live in poverty? So what if people have horrible representation? So what, so what, so what? No, so what to you, and fuck off, and get out of our movement, and take your shit with you. Tell your friends I said fuck you, and two people that look like you. Take your corny jokes, take your fake ass appreciation for us, and stop pretending like you give a fuck about black people.
That was the theme of this show.
I pinned the microphone.
I'm sorry. That was the theme of this show. Okay? He was going at people on the left who don't give a fuck about black people and actively ignoring black pain, black trauma, and black political needs. He cleaned house. That's why you heard that Vaseline comment. Because people knew that this rant, expletive-laden rant, indeed, right? Because he was angry. A close friend of his got screwed over by these people that he's talking about. All right. That was the driver for that was not the driver. That was the beginning of this rant. Right. That's what started this rant. But ultimately, this is about racism and anti-blackness on the left. That's what this rant is about. And that's why nobody wanted you to hear anything but that 6 seconds. All right. Anybody got anything on that? Anybody? No.
I loved every minute of this shit. Like this.
Every minute.
We need more black people in media just like going off like this, because honestly, like we should be angry, and we shouldn't be afraid to show like our true feelings about a lot of the shit that's going on with our politics. Like, I'm tired of putting on fronts for people because it's not getting us anywhere. So let's be honest.
Go ahead, play Fanny, Sam.
You see where I'm going. You see where I'm going, and I'm with Mud. I'm glad that Tim let that anger out, because people say that on the show. We had somebody who was in the comments, and I'm not speaking ill of this person, because they literally said in the comments, like, respectfully, like you could tell by the tone of it, they weren't trying to be rude or disrespectful. So this isn't like to come at them. It's just so people can understand. So they were just like, you guys sound like a bunch of college kids when they first get to college and they learn a bunch of stuff and they're like really angry. But then like over time, they kind of like calm down. Like, no, we're worse. We know way more than you do. And our imminent destruction is coming. And we are lighting fires and sending smoke signals and screaming at the top of our lungs, trying to get you guys to see that this might be the end of Black people. Like, we are suffering. Our people are dying. What you are complaining about your poverty does not compare to our poverty. We are poorer than you at every single level. Your bottom poor are worth like negative 12,000. Our bottom poor are worth negative 25,000. The next one up, y'all are worth like, it's always like an 80 to, there's a big gap at every level. And I might even put it in later because we need you guys to start understanding this. There's a reason why we're screaming at the tops of our lungs. If we don't do this now, we will not survive as a group of people because you guys are not doing anything to save us. And the policies that you are proposing will just make us stable poor. They will not improve the vast quality of the majority of Black people's lives. That's what I need you to understand. So I'm gonna play this Fannie Lou Hamer because she's saying the same stuff. We've been saying this stuff for forever. Y'all don't listen. I'm so glad so many of you guys are coming new to the channel. I'm a reader. I'm gonna start showing y'all stuff from the 1860s, 1890s, fucking 1900s, where they're using the same arguments that you guys are using about why we can't have reparations and why we can't do things for Black people. A lot of you think you're good liberal progressives or whatever you call yourselves, and you're no different than a lot of your racist ancestors. And you need to work that out in yourself. Because that's a choice. Once you recognize it, it's a choice how you move from then on. So Fannie, here she goes.
Mississippi is still a very rough place. People is not just walking up like they used to do in the past, walking out, shooting a man down or getting maybe 200 or 300 people carrying you out and lynching you, but it's in a more settled way. They can let you starve to death, not give you jobs. These are some of the things that's happening right now in Mississippi. See, Mississippi is not actually Mississippi's problem. Mississippi is America's problem. Because if America wanted to do something about what has been going on in Mississippi, it could have stopped by now. It wouldn't have been in the past few years between 40 and 50 churches bombed and burned. You see, and this leads me to say, all of the burning and bombing that was done to us and the houses, nobody never said too much about that, and nothing was done. But let something be burned, by a Black man, and then, my God, you see, the flag is drenched with our blood. Because you see, so many of our ancestors was killed because we have never accepted slavery. We had to live on it, but we've never wanted it. So we know that this flag is drenched with our blood. So what the young people are saying now, give us a chance to be young men, respected as a man. As we know, this country was built on the black backs of Black people across this country. And if we don't have it, you ain't gonna have it either, because we gonna tear it up. That's what they saying. And people ought to understand that. I don't see why they don't understand that. They know what they've done to us. All across this country, they know what they've done to us. This country is desperately sick, and man is on the critical list. I really don't know where we go from here.
Baby. And the funny thing is, I don't feel no different.
By the time I was 10 or 12, I just wished to God I was white.
Fannie just got to speak to us. Woo.
For those of you who don't know, that's Fannie Lou Hamer. She is one of the greatest activists of our time. You didn't hear about it much because you didn't hear about a lot of women who were doing work in the civil rights movement. Yes. But she was also the victim of a Mississippi appendectomy, which is a hysterectomy. This is something that was part of the eugenics part of the eugenics program that was going on throughout the United States to try to cut down on our numbers. And that's the country we live in. And there are many things going on to this day that are still along those lines. So we'll go into as we move further and just continue to listen to us, you hear more about that. But that's not what this is about right now. This is about how the left treated Tim Black. Okay. Sam Ramud is going to drop a 7-minute video into this. It's going to tell you about the angry Black man trope, or the Black brute trope, right?
So far, we covered a lot of subjects that allowed racism to be hid undercover in society, but mostly it was dependent on one caveat. That caveat was most of the stereotypes that were shown often depicted blacks subservient to whites, always seen as below them. However, one stereotype, one that is shown as the opposite, appears more often and frequent than any other, and it became one of the most non-discussed subjects of 2020. Blacks during the time of minstrel shows often depicted pickaninnies, mammies, and Uncle Toms, childlike, docile, happy-go-lucky. However, the brute stereotype created justifications to the most horrific acts. The brute was the complete opposite of the rest. They were depicted as much stronger than white counterparts, unwilling to be subservient to white culture, and relied on two key pillars, that being violence and sexuality. The way that whites viewed slavery was, if you recall the episode of Subhuman, is the idea that they tamed black humans, and if slavery was abolished, the blacks could revert back to a primitive state. The other portion of this fear was painting blacks as hypersexualized, and that all black men were designed to hunt and rape women, but mostly white women. Seeing as this is a horrific crime, it gave them enough reasoning to begin lynching. Lynching was horrific and sadistic, but rationalized that according to white Southerners, since the preservation of the white race and purity of white women were at risk, the black brutes were the greatest evil to eradicate. In 1965, Emmett Till visited Mississippi and allegedly referred to a white woman as baby. Days later, Till was removed from his home, beaten and mutilated to death. Years later, he was told that the woman that reported it lied about the very occurrence. As time grew, you'll still see instances of the black brute that appears on TV shows and movies. As these instances became more commonplace, the idea that blacks are violent by nature and the result of elimination of the black brute began to take hold.
3.5 months since Ahmaud Arbery was chased and gunned down by 3 white men while out for a jog. And now new details about the moments leading up to his death are adding to the pain. According to the lead investigator, the man who shot Arbery stood over him as he lay dying and uttered a racial slur.
Mr. Bryan said that after the shooting took place, before police arrival, while Mr. Arbery was on the ground, that he heard Travis Michael make the statement.
The courtroom left in stunned silence at the probable cause hearing today for the father and son accused of killing Arbery, Gregory and Travis McMichael.
We proceed this morning.
Federal prosecutors introducing a possible new motive, racism.
Have you seen any other evidence that he has used that horrible N-word anywhere else? Yes, sir, many times. One particular one that comes to mind is he made the statement that he loved his job because he was out on a boat and there weren't any N-words anywhere.
Sunday by police in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Tonight we're learning more about that incident and a deadly shooting at a protest 2 days later. Here's CBS's Mola Lengi.
Tonight, 29-year-old Jacob Blake is without handcuffs, and deputies no longer stand guard at his hospital room. We now know the names of all 3 officers involved in Blake's shooting. Along with Rustin Shesky, who fired the 7 shots, officers Vincent Arenas and Brittany Moronic are also on administrative leave. We've also learned officers deployed 2 tasers to subdue Blake, who at the time of the Sunday incident was wanted for a sexual assault charge. It's not clear if that was the reason Blake was being arrested.
The idea of the brute has evolved, not so much referring to brutes by name, but it takes another name, thug.
Isn't it the right word?
No, of course it's not the right word to call our children thugs. These are children who have been set aside, marginalized, who have not been engaged by us. No, we don't have to call them thugs.
But how does that justify what they did? I mean, that's a sense of right from wrong. They know it's wrong to steal and burn down a CVS and an old person's home. I mean, come on.
Come on. So calling them thugs, just call them niggers. Just call them niggers. No, we don't have to call them by names such as that. We don't have to do that. That is exactly what we've sent them to.
The only reason it bothers me is because it seems like it's the accepted way of calling somebody the N-word nowadays. You know, it's like everybody else said the N-word, and then they say thug, and they're like, oh, that's fine. And that's where it's kind of, you know, it kind of takes me aback, and it's kind of disappointing because they know what's the definition of a thug really. You know, can a guy on a football field just talking to people, you know, maybe I'm talking loudly and doing something, you know, talking like I'm not supposed to, but I'm not, you know, there was a hockey game where they didn't even play hockey. They just threw the puck aside and started fighting. I saw that and I said, oh man, I'm the thug? What?
Which has been closely associated as violent black men with the intent of violence. The idea of stopping and killing thugs can be seen as a call to action of lynching, which created violent reactions from both citizens and police. The idea that blacks are either docile or violent has created a storm of confusion when it comes to the subject of race in America.
Every black man is coming. He's coming to steal your women. He's coming to hurt you and harm you, right? That's what that 6 minute timestamp and that 6 seconds that people cut out, and Tim's big black ass face, those two things together trigger something in you that you don't even understand. Right? It triggers that big black trope. It triggers that same thing that Sam played a video earlier. You guys didn't see it. Black people understand that when you hear things like that, things start to get burned down. Right? That's why Emmett Till is gone. The lady admitted she lied. All right. That's why. That's the reason. That was the reason they used to burn down Black Wall Street. Same thing with Rosewood in Florida. All right. This trope of the angry black man coming to harm a woman, even though it's a black woman, I get it. But the way people are coming to her aid, you would think she was one of them. I'm not saying she's white, but everybody's running to acting as if they're protecting Bree. But what they really are is attacking Tim, right? They're using this like Josiah mentioned the Mandingo fight thing, right? So they're using that trope. They use that angry black man trope, or that dangerous black man trope, or that big black brute, big black beast trope. It's all the same thing, right? They use that to make you want to attack Tim, right? And they knew they were doing it, and they knew what reaction you would have. That's how desperate they are to keep this message from coming out. They're willing to destroy a man's life to keep you from understanding how racist the people are around you. That should be scary to you. That should force you to ask questions. And that should tell you everybody who carried this Vaseline trope, everybody, they need to be checked, and they need to be checked right now. Because the point of Tim's rant was to eject the very people that started this bullshit. Lumpy Louise, right? A few of my former friends. I caught a few in the middle of it and turned them around. Draft Tulsi was one, and Patty tweeting, both of them. Once I pointed out the issue, they both stopped and they apologized. Kudos and thank you, right? But if this movement of the left is going to work, everybody's going to have to start checking those people and pushing them out the same way you pushed me out, the same way they're trying to push Tim out, the same way they pushed out Anoa Changa. All this stuff is connected, right? Every time a black person mentions black issues that are not on the agenda, let's say Bernie's agenda, or the what is currently the left agenda in the United States, popularly known as the left agenda in the United States, right? Anytime anybody mentions anything specific to black people, they get the same treatment. That's an excellent picture, Sam. This is a digital lynching, right? And this moment requires courage, because you're gonna have to fight through this to make this a real movement. All right. And you better believe, you're going to see a lot of these tweets that we've been seeing. You're going to be hearing some comments that people made. All right. And you better believe black people watching this fight. Oh boy, black people watching this fight. Oh, they know what Tim said.
And we love it when y'all fight too. So no, we enjoy watching white leftists fight like y'all enjoy a Mandingo fight. Let's keep it a buck. So no, we're watching because we want to see who's gonna win. Because If the anti-black wing wins, you guys are done. Like the white lady told me, if the Democrats and if the left embraces reparations and black issues, the left is doomed. If the anti-black wing wins for you, you guys are doomed because niggas is getting angry and a lot of people are starting to move right, like the white people did. Remember, those white Obama voters got pissed off and they moved to Trump. We didn't do it like that. Watch it. Black people are talking crazy. Like black people are starting to feel a lot more conservative these days. And I'm not saying that, not saying that that's what people should be doing. But what I'm saying is you're creating anger and resentment in people. And they're feeling like if you don't want to serve us, we rather tank the whole country and fuck everybody. Y'all need to understand there's a thing called schadenfreude, delighting in other people's misery. Black people are on the bottom. We are suffering. We don't feel sorry for you right now while you're suffering because you're still not suffering as bad as we are. And that's not hit me up like I'm going through something. I'm not saying if you're going through something specific as a white person. And I'm not talking about that bottom quintile, that one quintile that's worth negative 12,000. I'm not talking about Appalachian whites. I'm not talking about white people who grew up and couldn't fucking eat and were on welfare and who are still struggling. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about you middle-class motherfuckers.
The other 90% of these motherfuckers.
The ones who, like, I'm not talking about poor white people. Poor white people always understand, feel exempt when I am talking about white people. I'm not talking about you because if you're poor and struggling, you ain't controlling shit. You out here trying to figure out how you're gonna make it like the rest of us. That's why we're not against universal programs, but we want reparations first because we can't trust you. Plus, the programs that you're offering don't help poor whites in Appalachia. Like, oh my God, who said it? Somebody, oh my God, I'm gonna pull that tweet. Was that you, Joey? You know, telling people that they should get like free college, which is one of the programs. And like, was it free college? And yeah, they were like, that's like giving somebody a lottery ticket or like a job application because you still got to like go to school, be successful, make something yourself. And then even when we have degrees, we don't get hired at the same levels. So now the videos are up on our channel, no excuses. Myth number one, what we get wrong about closing the racial wealth gap. Educational attainment does not close the racial wealth gap. The stats up there. You can download the whole actual report and all that good stuff. So
yeah. So just real quick before we go on, Sam started. She talked about black people moving right. She's talking about when more black people voted for Trump, the percentage wise, than we've seen in a long time. Voted Republican, we've seen in a long time because we're just tired of not being served, right? And that's very telling. And of course, the Green Party didn't do well, even though they did have reparations. It wasn't what we were talking about. But that's another thing. But the point one of the points I want to make, I want to draw out of that is Jimmy Dore, Kyle Kalinske, Vosh,
KKK Kyle, Beverly Hills Vosh. How the fuck you got this dude who's from fucking Beverly Hills telling black people that they can't get a check for reparations and reparations should be done on class? Bitch, is your mama giving up some money in this shit? This dude is from Beverly Hills.
With only a high school diploma, by the way. Not that's bad, but I mean,
yes, it is. As a white man, it's bad. This is America. This is America.
Oh, he's actually
sorry, that's a lie. It's not bad. No, it's not bad for you to be a white man and not have a college degree. It's bad for you to be a fucking rich ass fucking white kid from fucking Beverly Hills.
Yeah, but my point. Thanks, Sam. But my point with that is all three of those people I just mentioned. They're trying to make deals with the right. They're dragging your movement to the right wing. Cenk Uygur, Jimmy Dore, even though they hate each other, at least on paper, they may be some kabuki theater shit, right? Even though they hate each other,
some WrestleMania shit,
Bosh, yeah, all those people let's talk about uniting with the right? And where does that leave the rest of the movement? Where does that leave the quote unquote American left that is supposed to be anti-racist? Right?
Where?
Yeah, y'all gonna see some tweets.
Hey, yo, let me say something though. Y'all brought up Jimmy Dore though, and I remember like real shit. Like a few days ago, me and Sam was talking about this, man, and she kind of was like, "Damn, Jimmy let me fucking down because he's supposed to be anti-establishment, bring everybody together." But I'm like, he's deeply anti-black, And I think that not only is it it's definitely for views, like it's 110% for views. So I remember a time when Jimmy Dore would do these videos, mostly trauma porn, like the lefties do. Basically, like these videos when niggas are calls a nigga on camera, or the police will beat our head over. Jimmy Dore would speak on these videos. This shit is racist, like. And then you go to his videos, and they be half like, half dislike, and then half the viewers be like, "I thought you were better, Jimmy. You're bringing this shit up about a nigga getting beat over the head. What is this?" You know what I mean? I'm like, what the? And I seen that, but that's when I was on the real left wearing the Bernie Tosi shirt. Not gonna lie, you can see the video. You can find me in the video. I got the Bernie. I had a big American flag on. I'm still American. I'm a descendant American slave for real. I don't give a fuck, but you can find the video. I don't care. But at the end of the day, though, I remember that though. I remember like, yo, I fucked with Jimmy because he was firebred. He was talking about the imperialism thing, but he was very serious. He would, the trauma porn, but he would come at it like, he'd be like, yo, this is fucking mad racist, like, because they can't get in the pool. And I remember one of them videos when they couldn't get in the pool, that shit was like
McKinney, Texas.
Dislikes. And it was, and it wasn't all conservatives though. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't his conservative, it was lefties disliking it.
It's the red rose racist.
The red rose is the red, brown, and white. That's what they call it. People call it red, brown,
funny because we had actually, the funny thing is we had stopped saying red rose racist like for a while. Like, you actually brought that back because my friend Edie, who was a burner, was like, you gotta stop saying. So like we had kind of not, I wasn't really saying it. But
I never really said it. But since this
anti-Black woman, I'm not saying she's a racist, but she's anti-Black in her politics. She wants Black people to be on the bottom. We're gonna put the thread in here. We're gonna go, hey, understand when you get into beefs with me on Twitter. So this is my thing. Everything I post on Twitter or retweet, I assume that you're watching me and that you're screenshotting everything. Anything you post in a thread with me, I will put that shit up here and talk about you. Just know. And I'm not saying that to discourage you, but if you say some fuck shit, you better fucking stand on your fucking square with that shit and be able to live by it. Because everything I say, I live by. Anything that you hear in public, I'll stand on my square to that shit. And if something changes for me that I feel like I need to change up and apologize, I will. But if I don't feel that shit in my spirit and from my ancestors, that ain't happening. All right.
All right, Josiah.
Mud's been quiet too.
Yeah,
what's up, Mud?
Mud? Where you at, man? We got here with Bud.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Y'all got it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. What's up, Josiah? What you got? What you got, Killmonger?
Like we saw this happen time and time again. It's always in the news, and white people know, like, it's Amy Cooper. And if you have to pay attention to like what she said on that phone, she didn't say I'm a white woman. She said, I'm going to tell them that I'm being harassed by an African-American man. It didn't matter what she looked like. As long as you can weaponize the society
and
like,
womanhood.
Yeah, all you got to do is say there's a Black man harassing me, and you got the whole fucking police force ready to jump in and save you.
Man, blue lights everywhere. Yeah.
Or you got your Zimmermans out there too.
Yep. Vigilantes.
Who all see Black men and boys as like larger or more dangerous than they are.
White women do that too, though. White women do that too in the educational system. They'll be like little boys and stuff. They'll be trying to say like the little boys were sexually harassing them, and little boys be like 6, 7 years old. They don't know nothing about nothing like that. They're not even thinking about. Yeah. Oh, like that white lady that accused that little boy of grabbing her butt. And it like his backpack hit her when he was walking by.
Yeah, I
remember that. Grabbing her butt and they went.
An ABC News exclusive. It was the video seen by millions. A woman wrongly accusing a 9-year-old boy of grabbing her in a store on camera. It turned out just to be his backpack. That woman confronting the boy and his mother, and now that mom and child are talking to ABC's Lindsay Davis.
Sexually assaulted by a child.
9-year-old Jeremiah Harvey was in a Brooklyn convenience store with his mother last week when Teresa Klein, who was dubbed on social media as Corner Store Carolyn, accused him of sexual assault and said she was calling the police.
That's right, the son grabbed my.
But surveillance video proved Jeremiah did not assault the woman. His backpack accidentally grazed her.
It's still hard because I have this lately on my mind, like I can't think nothing more but this.
That night, Jeremiah says he cried out of fear that he or his mother would be taken away by police. And now, more than 1 week later, Jeremiah still visibly traumatized by the incident.
Are you concerned that this has permanently scarred Jeremiah?
Yes, I am.
This video showed the little boy didn't touch her. Like, y'all do shit that can get people lit. Like, if this was 60 years ago, people would have ran up in Tim's house and hung him already.
If this is Mississippi now,
certain towns.
Did y'all forget why
Certain
Breonna
towns.
Taylor got shot up a bunch of times? It's because they thought she hung out with drug dealers. That was enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this happens right now. Like they choked out Alton Sterling, they choked out George Floyd. All of these things are the same thing. It's white people feeling like they can weaponize their whiteness against black people. The second you act up, we gonna let it out.
And that's exactly what they did to Tim. And in addition to that, they had their minions joined in after everybody attacked him based on that trope and based on that 6 seconds that everybody heard out of that 3-hour video, right? Yes. Then after that, here comes the angry black man trope to try to shut him up.
Which they sent a black woman out to try to push that on narrative on a show.
Yeah, they said what's her name? Sabby Sabs. Right?
Sad.
And this is an instructive moment, right? This is an instructive moment, right? Tim even brought it up in the video, right? He's talking about people marching people out, black people out to do their dirty work.
Pokemon.
They said it. Nick, Socialist MMA, Fred Hand to leftist, he lied about what the night after he interviewed Cornel West, and everybody knows that Tim and Cornel West are close, right?
They were just together in Ohio.
They were just.
What was he expecting? What was he expecting Cornel West to do? Be like, fuck Tim? Like that's not
but
Cornel West energy. That's not who Cornel West is. What the hell?
Yeah, but this is because. But we have to remember that they're stupid, right? Fuck it, I said it. We have to remember that they're stupid, right? We got to remember that. That's an important point. They're stupid, right? They think they can run with us, right? As far as intelligence is concerned, yeah, they got more followers because Jimmy Dore or Ryan Knight set them up, right?
I want you to finish saying what you're saying, and then I want to address the having more followers thing, because that's a whole nother thing. But go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, and again, that doesn't matter to us. What Sam's going to address that, all right? So, they brought on intentional. This was intentional. You can't say that the timing was out of the blue. They brought on Cornel West because Cornel West will go talk to anybody, right? Cornel West don't give a shit. He would just show up and talk his talk, same shit all the time, right? What they were trying to do is separate, because the three main black people on the left, Nina Turner, Cornel West, and Tim Black, right? If they lose the three of them, the left is fucked, right? As far as black people are concerned, right? So what they're trying to do is use Tim to break the three of them up, right? To keep them from forming Voltron and forming a black wing of the left. That's their biggest fear right now. So that's why they're trying to eliminate Tim, right? Trying to separate. I'm sure Nina Turner got some phone calls, but I know Nina personally. I'm sure she's just gonna remain quiet until the shit blows off and see how the things. And it's a smart thing to do, to see how everything lays out, right? So but Nick lied on Twitter about what Cornel West said about Tim Black. He said that Cornel West was unhappy with Tim Black about what went on in Berea with Bree. But that's not even what he said. That's not what he said. It was so bad that Cornel West's wife had to come out on Twitter and check him on it.
Which is crazy, because I had never seen her come out and say that.
I had never seen her before ever. I just assumed he was single. I don't know why I assumed.
I thought he was. Right? I thought he was a nigga that I seen in the Matrix. I didn't even know that.
In the Matrix.
I seen him in the Matrix. I thought that's where he was. I didn't know, man.
He's so goofy.
Yeah, and then, Nick is so wed to serving the white people around him, whoever stood him up, Jimmy Dore, Ryan Knight. He's so wed to serving them that he left that tweet up and stood on that lie, even after that man's wife told him he was lying, in the nicest way. She was so kind about it.
It was so sweet.
It was so sweet.
I don't think that's how he interpreted it.
Yeah, and love and peace to all of you, right?
Like, oh my God, it was so soft. Like, oh my God, like she that was damn near Southern chicken, like Southern old lady, sweet.
Yeah, bless
chicken.
your heart. And he still has a tweet up because he's so wed to serving these people that stood him up.
He thirsty.
Right? So we got this Pokemon fight, this Mandingo fight going on with people who really want the left to succeed, along with black people like us, like Tim Black, and a few other people that may be floating around that we're not sure of, still working this out, right? That really want to help black people. That the Fred Hand, the leftists, yeah, all of you, because Sabby went out there acting a complete ass. I can say that. That's that. It is what it is.
It is what it is. I'm going to go on that because I'm a black woman, so she can get upset, black woman and black woman, so she don't be talking about
you handle. We'll let you handle Sam. Okay, forget what I said. All right. So that was my point with all that. So they smeared him with the black brute trope, and then tried to silence him with the angry black man trope, and then tried to silence him with this new trope that black men hate black women, trying to divide black people. Right. But you heard him. He went at Steph. He called her ditzy. Nobody
brought that up.
Nobody brought that
and that
up.
should have been a fight because white women don't like being called ditzy, and I know she's Latina, but she's a white Latina. So what's your point?
Yeah. So nobody said anything about that. They turned his rant into a black on black crime when he was trying to clean up the left, trying to get the racism out of the left, get these racist people out of the left, and everybody lost their goddamn mind. Lying motherfucker. Sam, what you got?
So let's address the whole followers thing, because that was the same stupid stuff that Rome and even Sabby and even Afeni, and I'm not gonna get into Afeni too bad because she seems like the least idiot in the group. Her and what's that other one? There's two of them that seem like they're not dumb as fuck. The rest of them, but they don't know enough either because they still on the wrong side. But let me just get into this whole thing about wanting followers. We might as well just let y'all know why we did this. We did this show so we could get in the left's ass because we were sick and tired of them not serving us. But on top of that, this project is also built on a much bigger project, which is a political education project. This project has been going longer than any of us have been together. All of us have been working on things in our own right, leading up to this moment to bring us together. We are here to educate the population. White people don't understand what kind of dire straits that Black people are in. So I'm going to teach everybody the data, the numbers, the facts, and I'm going to teach it in a way that everybody can understand it. That's why we're here. Not just that. Mud and I are history junkies. We're going to hit you with some history. We're going to teach you all the stuff about this country history that you never knew. And that's what we plan on doing here. So if it's been a blessing, everybody who is listening, everybody who is following, we've got a lot of new followers recently. I want to say thank you for being here, but let's keep it a buck. If y'all are the only people who ever stay and we never get another people and y'all just stay and learn and learn and learn, and you start talking to your family members and your family members start getting it, and oh my God, God forbid you decide to start a show. I was talking to MG about this earlier. I was like, there's so many lanes. You don't even have to follow our show. Like, what do you care about as a Black person? Reparations is a big issue. Everybody doesn't want to do reparations because that's a big, daunting task. But hey, Black people got so many issues. So do you care about Black food insecurity? Start a channel where you're talking about stuff that's going on with Black food insecurity around the country. Highlight stuff where people are doing good job. Highlight stuff where stuff's bad. Like, there's so many things you can pick from. Homelessness, like, as a Black American who descends from chattel slavery, no matter how you identify, whether it's ADOS, FBA, freedmen, NASD, whatever it is, like, you got to pick a lane and get in it and rock with it. And if you decide media is your lane, just make sure you know what you're talking about when you get on here, but do it. Like, our goal is to create an army of people who can go out and fight the way we do. Me and Mud can fight. Everybody on this panel can fight these arguments in our sleep. We have been eating and breathing this forever. We want to get you where we're at. Once we get you where you're at, where we're at, where you know what we know, if you decide that you don't care about Black people no more, then fuck you too. But maybe you'll learn enough and you'll understand why we're so desperate and why we're in this situation. And you might actually have compassion and want to fight with us, because we always fight with you, because we're Americans. We don't have another country. This is our country. We built this country. Our blood, our sweat, our tears, our bones are in here for generations and generations. We don't want to see our country fall, because this is our country too. But if you don't want to work with us, we can share this pain, because we can't be the only ones suffering. And middle class, maybe either middle class white people, either you're going to get on board with us getting reparations added to the stuff y'all talking about. We get our reparations first, and then, like I said, I always say reparations first. And when I say first, I mean that whoever, president sits down at the table, reparations bill on the left, the Medicare for all, $25 an hour, federal jobs guarantee, UBI, and I want wealth redistribution too. They sign that bill on the right, left, right, boom, same day, same hour, within the same 5 minutes. I'm not saying that y'all should wait 500 years like you tell us, but you're going to add us to your agenda. If not, you're going to have to feel this pain. It's time y'all feel the pain. It's time for more of you middle-class white people to fall into poverty and see what it is to be a Black person, because we are poor. Even when we work with you and make the same salary, y'all be having a family member who will send you some money, or you might have a family house, or somebody will send, or a grandmother who pays a car note or will give you a car. All of that shit, Black people ain't getting shit like that. There are a few unicorns. I'm a unicorn, but there's not a lot. Who else on this panel's family member left them a house? Oh, exactly.
My mom never owned a house. My mother never owned a house nor a car.
Can you say that one more? Can you say
not a bad apartment, but I grew up in an apartment.
But can you say that one more time, John? Because you were kind of getting talked over. Say it one more time, because that's important.
Mama,
and your mom is a professional.
Yes, my mom graduated from college. You know what I mean? Like real shit. Like, and my friends will always say I was spoiled because it was food in my refrigerator. This is how bad. Like, my friends is mostly Negroes, there's a few Caribbeans, but my friends would say I was spoiled when I was little because there's always food in my refrigerator. Now, my mother never owned a house or a car. Even though I live, see that's the fake lower middle class or working class Black life. Like, that's the hurting class right there. You know what I'm saying? My mom graduated from college. You know what I'm saying? Like, she graduated from college. My dad wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to get into that, but you know what I mean? My mom graduated.
But she got married. She had kids. She did all the stuff that they tell you you're supposed to do. You ain't got to go no further. But she did the whole right thing. She got married before she had some babies. She did the family thing.
Yes, she did. Yes, she
did.
Yeah,
So
my parents as well.
Oh yeah, they just started owning stuff, right?
Yeah, well,
your parents are the only people who have stuff.
Yeah, my parents won't be. I'm saying that they were married before my brother and I were born.
Oh yeah,
that's all I'm saying. Yeah, and
you feel me? Like Black babies, they always act like we get birth. All of us got birthed out of wedlock. Like 80% of us know that's not the fucking truth. Like, Black people try to start families all the fucking time, but the society puts so much pressure on you to either fit in, you feel me, and the wealth position. Though, not gonna lie, the wealth does have a lot to do with keeping our families together.
But don't they say the number one reason why marriages break up is finances? Well, when the majority of Black people are negative, you wondering why we can't keep a relationship together.
Yeah, why we can't form this stable, solid bond when people are getting divorced for the same reason. We can't even start. That's how bad off we are financially. All right?
Absolutely.
And on top of that, we had a system that kind of incentivized us to have broken families. Like,
absolutely, yep. Can't get consistence.
Like, it was a whole fucking systematic plan to separate us. I mean, and then if you think about it, like, I mean, the Great Migration was essentially Black men being chased out of the South. A lot of them had to leave their families behind. And, depending on how they did, they might never, ever got back together with their families, It was just like, if poverty, like this deprivation that we've been going through from generation, has had a certain effect on our family structures. Now, I'm not one of these people that preach about the nuclear family and all of that stuff, because that's not really my thing. But I think that if we are going to have these conversations, like we have to look at all the factors that created this situation. And that's what a lot of people don't want to do. They just want to pretend like they want to make make it just seem like we're inferior in some type of way. Like we're like we don't have enough sense to do certain things that are considered the norm. I don't know.
That's good. Those are all good points, but I want to tackle what you just talked about as far as us having sense. But Josiah, go ahead and go.
I was going to say, I was raised in a nuclear family, although I'm a drug war orphan. Mm-hmm. So the hood kind of stepped up and took care of me. So my father's a pastor, my mother's a first lady. Mm-hmm. So we struggled the entire time. Both of them worked, both of them heavily involved in the church. And like, I'm from Detroit. So we would have like whole winters with no electricity. Meanwhile, the kids, the 5 of us, are going to school trying to figure that out. And everybody wonders, like, how come you guys aren't doing so great? It's just the money thing. Like, our family's awesome. Mm-hmm. Like, I have awesome aunties, uncles. My parents love me. Like, everything's great, except we're poor. Mm-hmm. Like, this whole concept of we have bad values, it's impossible. Like I said, like, my parents just picked me up. I was not theirs. I was not their responsibility. These are just Negroes. They knew somebody had to do something.
Mm-hmm. Man, bless them. Bless them. Yeah, that's deep, man. Yeah, I wanted to tackle something real quick, because something that keeps popping up while we're having this discussion. People quickly jump to, well, the Democrats aren't going to do anything for you. You keep supporting Democrats. During these conversations about racism on the left, Democrats don't do anything for you. Yeah, you guys should go vote for the Democrats. Why you keep voting for Democrats? That doesn't make sense. So basically, we're blaming the victim here, right? The Democrats suck. The Republicans are worse. If the left wants to break 60 years of political tradition, you're going to have to offer us something other than what everybody else is getting. This is logic. But part of the problem is they really, and we're fine. I'm seeing something that I didn't realize was that they don't think we're part of the country. And it's a really weird dynamic. Like, if we get reparations, and then you're just going to get paid off. So trillions of dollars are going to flood into the economy over the next decade for us, and it's just going to disappear into thin air. It's not stimulus. It's not going to help any businesses. It's not going to help us build businesses. It's not going to help people around us. All right. It's not going to help people who are vulture capitalists. Right. It's like we don't exist in their. They do not recognize us as part of this country. It's a really weird dynamic that it's weird. Has anybody else noticed that? Or is it just me? I may be crazy. That's possible.
I mean, we
the wait staff of America. We don't actually like own anything here. We just a part of the experience. Like, you come here and you got some Negroes.
Experience. Damn. Wow.
Damn, I like that. But
Mud, what you got?
Yeah, go ahead, Mud.
No, I was just gonna say, like, we are like, I'm sorry, leftists, if you're going to be talking all about all these programs that are going to cost trillions of dollars, and like you got to consider how we are going to view this.
Yeah, remember Bernie's programs was 67 trillion. Keep going, Mud. 67 trillion. We couldn't get 17, but he was giving out 67. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, if you're talking about doing things for the whole fucking nation, but you don't want to settle up this debt with 13% of the population, like, we're not stupid. Like, we're not going to see you open up I get it with Biden. We understand that he's not going to be a motherfucker that's going to spend money on social programs. It's mainly going to be, if he's going to spend money, it's going to be towards these job building projects. But if you're talking about Bernie Sanders and the Democratic Socialists, or the socialist side of the spectrum here, like, look, if you're going to spend that type of money, you need to settle up with us first, or we're not going to support you. Like, and I get that you might be like, well, Medicare for all would do better for you than not having it. I get all that, but I'm not going to allow you to spend this type of money when I know how America works. You spend, you do these big spending bills, and then for decades, no one wants to spend no goddamn money.
That's it.
So we gotta get settled up. The next time, like everyone's like, we're gonna open up the checkbook of America. They have to settle up with us, or it's not gonna happen.
We are gonna. Okay, I'm working on being less vulgar because y'all really be crying. So I want y'all to know we're making a whole show for y'all. We're making so for all of y'all who be clutching y'all invisible pearls and you can't take all these F-bombs and all this cursing, we are going to make a whole segment for you where we break it down real nice and peaceful. We having somebody else do that shit because I don't do that shit. But I'm having somebody else do it for you. There won't be no cussing. It's going to be nice. And it's called white splaining. And I hope y'all get to enjoy it. Alrighty. So let's get on to Stabby Stabs. Let's get on to Stabby Stabs. So we're gonna use Tim's video from we know that he was so kind to put us in. We're gonna use this video because he already took like some of the best cuts, and some of this stuff needs to be addressed not just by Tim, and Stabby needs to be addressed by another Black woman because you was hella off code. But let's keep going.
Like, and the white folks was on code. Them white folks got on code. The white folks got on code.
They sent you out. Pokemon.
That's the time of Black Act. I mean, I don't agree with you, but I feel like that. Keep going. Yeah, they're big black guy. Yeah, be angry, right? I mean, I didn't say it, but Savvy's saying it. That's what they do. That's what they do.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sam.
I'm trying to get to, I don't want to play a whole video.
They had on Sabby. Why are you on here with these guys so you can black-splain Black people?
I'll be honest with you. I think I know what's going on here.
I'm gonna explain Black people. Well, see, this is what I think what's wrong with Tim Black. Never talked to me a day in her fucking life. Don't know me. We ain't never had a conversation. Just on the motherfucker, just explaining the nigga. Hey, this nigga's obviously it's got problems, you know?
Oh my God.
As a Black woman, if I had to put up with similar dumb niggas like this and talk shit about me because I'm so intelligent, I've also been called too white. I wonder why. Someone might say that. Why? Because you're surrounded by a bunch of white motherfuckers talking about a brother?
We do have like in the Black community, referring to Black people who are highly educated or who, as Joe Biden would say, speak well, as trying to act white or be white, or you're not Black enough. And I've had people make those comments about me. So when I heard him say that about Bree, I was like, it was personal.
I don't know.
The issue. Not how she speaks, not the fact that she's a Black woman that made it, but we feel like she's a Black woman that forgot about us, or a Black person that forgot about us, or a Black person that was trying to fit into the system and knew that as a prerequisite, as a way to get into the system, you had to forget about Negroes. We all love Army here. We all love Army. Army don't sound like me, but he blacker than me. I'm not gonna lie.
Army blacker than all of us.
All of us.
Army is blacker than all of us.
Everybody on this show. He's black.
He talks about white women like a crazy person and sleeps next to one. I'll be ready. I'll be afraid she cut my throat. His wife is a rider. Bless you, Mrs. Osei Frimpong. Bless you.
It's not about how you sound like. You know what I'm saying? It's not about how you sound like. You sound proper or not. Our whole thing is like, is you riding or not? Because the thing about it, like real shit, like people, our brothers and sisters that sound proper and have a certain accent, certain hue, that have that certain intelligence, like if they rhyme for me, we fucking love that shit to the end. Like, so at the end of the day, like Army is Black. He sounds way more. I mean, people will say I don't sound quote unquote proper. Or I got an accent or whatever the fuck. This is how I talk. I don't.
No, you got bass.
Black folks on this show.
You got bass in your voice. That's what that is. That's that bass. You got that Negro bass.
Yeah, I definitely got that big Barry White. I got bass in my. So what? Man, like, I can't hide it. I'm a Negro. So what? But at the end of the day, Army talks in a way that's very articulate, very smart, and he does not let up. And especially for the white people, he turned up more about Negroes though. And I'm like, he blacker than me. I'm like, he blacker than me. I could make
on their channels.
Yes, on their channels too.
John, I'm sorry. I just want to go further. So if Irony can talk his shit on his channel, on his show, and still go on the Breaking Points and go on all these leftist shows, but he still talk his shit. Come on, y'all got to step your game up. Like, you know, Irony don't throw Negroes under the bus. You know, even when it came to him saying, you know, the Bernie Sanders thing, he was like, I just think that's a better option because we'll have some money to fight with. But Irony wasn't out here beating up Negroes, telling people they was stupid and low information because they didn't want to vote like that. Irony said, this is what I'm going to do, and y'all do what y'all going to do. He made his case. Like an academic, he made his case for why people should do what they do, and he let people go from there. He wasn't out here chastising. Yeah, he wasn't out here chastising people, talking to them crazy. Go ahead and finish, John. I'm sorry. I just had to throw that out there.
Nah, I mean, you're absolutely right. Like, it's complete bullshit. The fact that if somebody from our ethnic group talk proper, that we automatically discard them or throw them away. We want people to talk proper because we understand how the society look at us as a whole collective group of people. And we want people that talk like that to get in them spaces to talk about us, though. Like to hold us down, though. Like, you feel like that's the way, like, to let them know that we not fucking idiots. And you know what I mean? Like, they can articulate these things to others, the other society, the great society, about our needs. So at the end of the day, it's not about how you speak or how you talk. You know what I mean? It's about, like, what do you stand with your people like? And Breonna Greyjoy has obviously, we call her red-handed standing against us and being a buffer against our progress. This is the issue we have with her, and this is the issue that Tim Black had with her. And Tim Black let it go because Tim Black been holding this shit in for years because he's been around you white progressives for years. And when you be around white lefties that play microaggressions and have this subtle racism that you're trying to fit into, you hold it in for years. Eventually, when you got to let it go as a black, you let it go. And and nobody came directly at his points. Nobody was really arguing about the Nina Turner thing, which was one of his main points. And then the underlying point was like, where are you at black issues? Where are you on these black issues? If you were supposed to be, we all love the world, we love everybody, but you don't love, when I bring my issues up, you're like, nah, because we got to, that's his two main points. Where you at with Nina Turner? But the underlying point that he called out, where are you on these black issues? Where you at reparations? You ain't never bring this shit up, never. You're supposed to be about justice and all that. Where you with the black, so this is what he called them out. So they had to respond in a certain way, which is, you know what I mean? You already know the racist trope, the bullshit trope, but I think that's where a lot of it come from. So, you know, that's all I got to say about that shit.
Appreciate it, John. Josiah, you got anything?
Yeah, sis. You want to know why people called you white? It's probably because you take on that white affectation, and then you like have this idea that speaking well, according to Joe Biden, means you're smart. Like being articulate does not equate to being intelligent.
Facts.
So this whole thing of, well, if you speak well, then they think you're smart and you're acting what? No. First of all, we don't have to quote unquote speak well to be smart. We've been doing it for a long time. We were smart even when we were slaves.
Yep.
We just don't look up to like this whole concept of like respectable whiteness. We don't need that. And when you bring that to people, they notice. So when this whole like, I'm smarter than you because I speak well, according to Joe Biden, I'm already insulted. So of course I'm going to call you a white person because you're acting like a white person. Perhaps you need to check your behavior. And as far as the black people on the left, I expected better from all of you. What exactly are you on the left for, if not to control these white people when they get racist?
Yeah.
What else are you doing other than trying to trick us into voting with them?
The bulletproof vest.
Yeah. Damn. You done, Josiah? I guess, but damn. Yeah. All right, Mud, what you got, man?
Yeah. I am so tired of this small segment of people like who can't get over their childhood trauma, and in their adult lives, they bring it up all the time to like throw it in our faces. Like, if you were in our community and you dealt with kids, matter of fact, in any community, if you're dealing with kids, they're going to be mean to you. And because of the way our society is, there are certain things that we have racialized. And that's the ways, you know, it filters out in our roasting sessions and all this type of shit. So like, get over it. Like, if you really give a fuck about Black people, just side with us on Black issues. Fight for things that will benefit us. Like, for real. And then, like, I don't know, like, we see you. Like, we see what you're doing. You're like avoiding all the substance of what Tim Black had to say. And you're just doing, like, you're providing cover for like all of the left and mainly the white leftists, because that, like, that rant, mainly he was calling out white leftists. That's what he was doing. So that's all I got.
All right. So like Mud brought up, people are carrying these childhood traumas around, right? So we talk about how we roast each other and how we pick on each other and so on and so forth. People pick on people who are different, right? It doesn't matter what it is. It could be how you speak. It could be your weight. It could be your height, right? We called my brother Bigfoot for about 10 years of his life, right? Because his feet are fucking big, right? His friends called him headquarters because his head is fucking big, right? I was 8 head for like all high school because I had a big forehead. I don't have any hair now. Like, this is life, right? But it's not just Black people, all right? I'm a little older now, right? But white people had a series of movies called Revenge of the Fucking Nerds about how they picked on kids who were smart and got good grades, right? These archetypes are all over the place. The archetype of the jock, the archetype of the smart kid, the pretty girl, right? These archetypes are all over American culture, but only Black people get painted as a negative thing as opposed to this is just part of American culture, right? Our spin on American culture, or rather America has a spin on our culture, is different, right? Which is the reality of it, right? That's the point, right? Everybody picks on kids who are different. They just do it in different ways and maybe not as funny at it as we are, okay? Now, that's one thing. And as far as the speaking well, I'm gonna mention 4 names for you, right? Frederick Douglass, James Baldwin, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. I dare you to find 4 American orators that are better than them. I don't care what fucking color you are. Find me 4 orators that are better than them. Please stop coming at us with this trope about we don't like kids who speak well. Fuck you.
How about we go farther? Wasn't Malcolm X out here calling these people out? He had no problem calling out our Negroes when they wasn't acting right. So if the shoe fits, wear it, boo-boo.
Exactly.
We're gonna have to find a clip for that. We need a good old Malcolm X clip where he getting in somebody's ass.
Yeah, remember come on somebody handkerchief head. Oh, he was talking about MLK that time, wasn't he? Oh shit. Never mind. My bad.
Don't do that. That's 1965. No, nigga, no. 64, 63, nigga. No, I don't want to hear that.
If I put
OG Malcolm was calling Martin Luther King an Uncle Tom.
Yeah,
yeah. I know Mud got the clips. That's what I'm saying. That's why Mud like, don't bring this up because I listen to these.
I know what he's
Mud like. My bad.
I know what he's talking about. He's talking about that message to the grassroots.
Yep.
That shit is rough.
To understand this, you have to go back to what young brother here referred to as the house Negro and the field Negro. Back during slavery, there was 2 kinds of slaves. There was the house Negro and the field Negro. The house Negro, they lived in the house with master. They dressed pretty good. They ate good because they ate his food, what he left. They lived in the attic or the basement, but still they lived near their master. And they loved their master more than the master loved himself. They would give their life to save their master's house quicker than the master would. The house Negro, if the master said, we got a good house here, the house Negro say, yeah, we got a good house here. Whenever the master said we, he said we. That's how you can tell a house Negro. If the master's house caught on fire, the house Negro would fight harder to put the blaze out than the master would. If the master got sick, the house Negro would say, what's the matter, boss? We sick. We sick. He identified himself with his master more than his master identified with himself. And if you came to the house Negro and said, let's run away, let's escape, let's separate, that house Negro would look at you and say, man, you crazy. What you mean separate? Where is there a better house than this? Where can I wear better clothes than this? Where can I eat better food than this? That was that house Negro. In those days, he was called a house nigger. And that's what we call him today, because we still got some house niggers running around here. This modern house Negro loves his master. He wants to live near him. He'll pay 3 times as much as the house is worth just to live near his master. And then brag about, I'm the only Negro out here. I'm the only one on my job. I'm the only one in this school. You nothing but a house Negro. And if someone come to you right now and say, let's separate, you say the same thing that the house Negro said on the plantation. On that same plantation, there was the field Negro. The field Negro, those were the masses. There was always more Negroes in the field than there was Negroes in the house. The Negro in the field caught hell. He ate leftovers. In the house, they ate high up on the hog. The Negro in the field didn't get nothing but what was left of the insides of the hog. They call them chitlins nowadays. In those days, they call them what they were, guts. That's what you were, a gut eater. And some of you all still gut eaters. The field Negro was beaten from morning till night. He lived in a shack, in a hut. He wore cast-off clothes. And he hated his master. I say he hated his master. He was intelligent. That house Negro loved his master. But that field Negro, remember, they were in the majority. And they hated the master. When the house caught on fire, he didn't try and put it out. That field Negro prayed for a wind, for a breeze. When the master got sick, the field Negro prayed that he died. If someone come to the field Negro and said, let's separate, let's run, he didn't say, where are we going? He said, any place is better than here. You got field Negroes in America today. I'm a field Negro. The masses are the field Negroes. That's a Negro that's out of his mind. Just as the slave master in that day used Tom, the house Negro, to keep the field Negroes in check, the same old slave master today has Negroes who are nothing but modern Uncle Toms, 20th century Uncle Toms, to keep you and me in check. keep us under control, keep us passive and peaceful and nonviolent. That's Tom making you nonviolent. It's like when you go to the dentist and the man is going to take your tooth. You're going to fight him when he start pulling. So they squirt some stuff in your jaw called Novocaine to make you think they're not doing anything to you. So you sit there and because you got all that Novocaine in your jaw, you suffer peacefully. Blood running all down your jaw. And you don't know what's happening. Because someone has taught you to suffer peacefully. The white man do the same thing to you in the street. When he gonna want to put knots on your head and take advantage of you and don't have to be afraid of you fighting back. To keep you from fighting back, he get these old religious Uncle Toms to teach you and me. They're just like Novocaine, suffer peacefully. Don't stop suffering, just suffer peacefully. As Reverend Cleave pointed out, let your blood flow in the streets. This is a shame. And you know he's a Christian preacher. If it's a shame to him, you know what it is to me. Because nothing in our book, the Quran, as you call it, Koran, teaches us to suffer peacefully. Our religion teaches us to be intelligent.
Keep it in the. I know, Mo, you be looking at it too, like I could bring it up to edit it. I know, but yeah, Mo, I know.
On a certain level, Malcolm was right though. He went.
He was raw about it, but he.
Yeah, we need to put that in.
His neck,
No,
but
we
he
need to
was
put
right.
that. Go ahead, Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
No, I'm just saying he went at MLK's neck, but he was right. He was right about that whole thing.
Yep. Yeah, but that's a good point, saying that we do call out our own. Yeah.
This is a Black tradition. Sorry, boo boo. I know you grew up in Germany, but in the U.S. we have a Black radical tradition, and we get into each other's asses.
I was in the army. I know a lot of Black folks that grew up in Germany that are about that life. Fuck, that's not an excuse. Just because you traveled or you lived in other places, that's not an excuse to fight for your people. Your people are your fucking people.
But are they our people? Do you really see us as your people, or do you see us as a come up?
They had on Sabby's. Sabby, why are you on here with these guys so you can black-splain Black people?
I'll be honest with you. I think I know what's going on here.
I'm gonna explain Black people. Well, see, this is what I think what's wrong with Tim Black. Never talked to me a day in her fucking life. Don't know me. We ain't never had a conversation. Just on the motherfucker, just explaining the nigga. And it's niggas, obviously, it's got problems, you know? As a Black woman, you know, if I had to put up with similar dumb niggas like this and talk shit about me because I'm so intelligent, you know? I've also been called too white. I wonder why someone might say that. Why? Because you're surrounded by a bunch of white motherfuckers talking about a brother?
We do have, like in the Black community, referring to Black people who are highly educated or who, as Joe Biden would say, speak well, as trying to act white or be white, or you're not Black enough. And I've had people make those comments about me. So when I heard him say that about Bree, I was like, it was personal.
I don't know. It could be. Maybe some Black people would be like, what the fuck she doing on there? But let me clear something up for everybody. Because she made some statements that are really fucked up. And you shouldn't have went there. First of all, you said you know a lot of shit about me. You know what somebody told you about me. That's different. That's different. You know what someone said to you. You don't know shit about me. She said the problems with the Black community. I hate when motherfuckers talk like that. Don't you hate that shit?
And so this is a problem that we do have, like in the Black community, referring to Black people who are highly educated.
It's one Black person around a couple of white people saying what's wrong with Blacks. Who the fuck nominated you to be able to tell white people what the fuck is wrong with Black people? What fucking school did you go to of Black people problems? How much life experience have you had around a bunch of Black people? How many Black people have you interviewed?
Again, too, because you mammy. I'm calling you a mammy. So Tim, come at me, y'all. That's some mammy shit. First of all, listen, y'all, if y'all had something to say about Tim, y'all Negro squad of the Fred Hampton leftists should have got together and roasted Tim down as a group of Black people. You don't run over to no white platform and sit around and start talking about what's wrong with the Black community. What's wrong with the Black community is fucking sedity ass Black people like you who have a little education, look down on their nose and say bullshit like you know what's wrong with the Black community. There ain't nothing wrong with our community that some money and some fucking therapy wouldn't fix. And we fighting for it. You not fighting for our community to get better. You're looking down your nose at us in a white space. I would have had no problem if you would have said that bullshit with all the dumb Black people from Fred Hampton leftists, because at least it would have been said in front of Black people. It still would have been a problem, but this is so off code.
Listening to Reset Race, you now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race, you're now tuned in to Reset Race. Put them back on the grill again, we grilling them. Put them back on the grill again, we grilling them. Put them back on the grill again, we grilling them. Back on the grill again, we grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake. Lineage go back to U.S. Southern plantations. Lineage, Jim Crow and mass incarceration. Redlining lynchings. We are old from this nation. You're not about justice if you ain't for reparations. MG the wise one. Cousin mother intellectual. Samantha bringing fire. Anti-black we pressing you. No permanent friends and no permanent enemies. The backbone of the country to win. You need our energy. You gon' see. Listening to Reset Race. You now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race. You're now tuned in to Reset Race. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Back on the grill again. We grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake.
Until you do right by me, everything you think about is gonna crumble.